Hello children, let me welcome you to the virtual training center of the Brihan Mumbai Mahanagar Palika. My name is Shraddha teacher. Children, we are in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic, isn't it? Because of that, we are not able to go to school, but that doesn't mean that we are going to stop learning. We are going to meet here regularly through the virtual training center to learn many lessons in EVS. So come on, let's go to a lesson in EVS. So children, let me welcome you to a lesson in Standard 3rd EVS, and today's lesson is going to be like a beautiful story. So what story are we going to see? We are going to see the story of our own lives. Okay, so the lesson is lesson number 23, growing up and growing old. So you can just imagine that this is your own story. That is, we will talk about our lives. That is the life of human beings, we people. Okay, from the time we are born till the time we die. So it is a story of how we are born, how we slowly start growing up, and then we grow old, and finally our bodies, they die off. Okay, so you will not imagine that this is going to be a lesson in EVS, because it is going to be very interesting and you should hear it as if you're hearing a story. Alright, so come on, let us start. We will start by looking at an exercise in our textbooks. But then before that, let us see what is this about. It is about growing up. We are going to see how we all grow up. Can you see the small baby, and then see, okay, and how we grow after growing up, that is after reaching the age of about 40, 45, we become very strong, and then suddenly we start growing old. See, so from being very small kids, from being small babies to becoming old people. So we are going to see how this journey is completed. Alright, so this is going to be our lesson for today, growing up and growing old. So let us look at this image from our textbook now, and let us try and answer some questions. So before we do that, let me ask you to open your EVS textbooks and come to page number 133. Now we are looking at this picture, and we are going to try and understand certain things about us or about human beings. So look at the picture. There are 5 people in this picture. So it is an image of a family. Now there are 5 people, but then without me telling you who these people are, you will be able to recognize them. Okay, so let us try this small exercise. So they have asked us, what is the boy's mother in this picture wearing? So according to me, this must be the boy's mother, and she is wearing a sari. Alright, then they have asked, what is his sister wearing? So I think this is the sister, because there is no other woman in the picture, and she is wearing a salwar kurta. In the next question, they have asked, what is the color of his grandfather's shirt? So see, what is the color of his grandfather's shirt? So let us see where the grandfather is. Come on, search, search. Yes, I think this is the grandfather. And what has he worn? He has worn a white color shirt. And what is the color of the father's shirt? So now which could be the father in this picture? It should be this person. Okay, and what has the father worn? He has worn a light green color shirt. The next question is, how did you guess who the mother and who the sister is? And the next question they have asked is, how did you guess who the grandfather and the father is? So see, they have just asked us questions, and we have guessed the answers. So how do you think we have guessed these answers? They are based on many different things. Alright, one main thing which they have focused on is the clothes that these people have worn. So the mother in your house, she wears a sari, your sister wears a salwar kurta, your grandfather, they wear white color, light color clothes, your father, again, he wears good color shirts. Okay. Along with this, you observed the image properly. You saw that the people here in the image are of different ages. Okay, so there are two women here in the picture. One is the mother, one is the sister. So the mother is elder to the sister. First, the sister is younger and the mother is elder. So you guessed that the lady in the sari, she must be the mother. The same thing goes with the father and the grandfather. You looked at both the men in the picture and you decided that the one with grey hair, he must be the grandfather, because as you grow older, the grandfather is older than the father, isn't it? Grandfather is father's father. So the grandfather is older than the father. So father has got black hair, grandfather has got grey hair or white hair. So see, this is how we observe people. We see the clothes they wear, we look at their faces, we look at their hair, and we look at the way they are sitting and the things that they are wearing in order to decide the age of a person. So we can decide the age of a person, or we can come to know about the age of a person by looking at a person. Alright, now we go to the lesson where we look at certain things about babies. Now you know, when we are born, we are all small babies. Okay, we cannot get up, we cannot talk, we cannot eat, we cannot even go to the toilet by ourselves. Alright, now we are all very, very weak and we are very, very dependent on others. That is, we cannot do anything ourselves. So there are some questions about babies here in the textbook. They have asked you to talk to the grown-ups to find out the answers. So you can talk to the grown-ups and you can find out the answers. At the same time, you can see the answers which I have given you. So the first question they have asked is, when does a baby start holding up its head? Now see, babies, they lie like this. Have you seen babies? They lie like this and then they start holding up their heads. They start raising their heads. So when do they do it? They do it normally at around 3 months. Now some babies, they raise their heads when they are 2 months old. Some babies, they do not raise their heads even when they are 5 months old. So this is all a normal thing, okay? Normally children raise their heads when they are 3 months old. And when do babies start getting their teeth? See, look at him, he's got one teeth. And look at your mouths. Try to see your mouths in the mirror. How many teeth do you have? Oh, you have a lot of teeth, isn't it? But look at this baby. It has got just one teeth and the other one is slowly coming out. So what age does a baby start teething? So the baby starts teething when it is around 6 months old. When the baby is around 5 months, 6 months old, slowly one teeth start coming up in the mouth. Okay, then let us see, when do babies begin to turn over? See, he's turning over, na? See how he's turning? So at what age do they start doing this? At around 4 months. When the baby is around 4 months, 5 months, it starts turning over. And when do babies learn to stand up? After turning over, they start sitting and then they start standing. So at what age do these babies stand? When they are around 5 months old. Now they have asked you the question, why babies are given only this kind of food? So see, babies are always fed soft food, food which has been put in the mixer, okay, food which has been boiled and then smashed. So why do they do this? Why don't they give the child pulaus and biryani and dal chawal? Why? Because the children do not have teeth and they are not able to chew the food, okay, and their bodies are also very, very, you can say, delicate. They will not be able to digest all this. That is why we do not give children rice and fried rice and noodles and biryani, okay. And the last question they have asked is, Why do small babies need to be carried? So you must have seen when there is a small baby, the mother wraps it up nicely and the mother carries it from one place to another. Alright, see, after it becomes a little bigger, also the mother carries it around. Why? Because it cannot walk. They can't walk when they are very small. So you can see how we are when we are very, very small. When we are just born, we are very helpless, and slowly one thing starts happening in our lives. Okay? And then we become, from small babies, we become old people. So come on, let us see this journey where we go from being a small baby to becoming grown up people. So let us start with how a baby is born. See, it is so tiny. Can you see? It cannot even turn, it cannot do anything, it can only cry. Alright, even the mummy has to change its nappy also. It cannot even get up and go to the toilet. Alright, afterwards it starts moving a little bit. Alright, it starts crawling. The baby starts crawling on its belly or its stomach. But at this time also, it cannot do anything on its own. It cannot eat on its own. It cannot go to the toilet on its own. It cannot have bath on its own. From there, it becomes a little bit bigger and then it starts walking on all fours. So now the child can move. It is going from one place to another. But even then, at this age also, the child needs its mummy. In fact, we need our mummies even when we become old, okay? But here, the child needs its mummy because it still cannot eat on its own. After that, slowly the child starts walking. Alright? But now also you can see the mama is feeding the child. And then finally, the child becomes like you. It starts carrying its own tiffin box, its water bottle, its school bag, and the children start going to school. So this is how the life of a child is. Okay, so when it is born, a newborn baby is totally helpless. Can you see how cute it is? But see, it is crying, na? Now when its mummy picks it up and when its mummy holds it, it will stop crying. And when its mummy gives it a lot of love also. The mother takes loving care of her baby. All our mothers have taken loving care of us, na? And she bathes the baby every day. Now what do? You go to the bathroom and you have bath on your own. Your mummy gives you hot water and you have bath on your own. But see, when the baby is so small, what does a mummy do? She gives it a bath every day, isn't it? And then she feeds it milk when it is hungry. When it is hungry, it starts crying. The baby starts crying when it is hungry. It cannot even say that it is hungry. When it starts crying, the mummy understands that the baby is hungry, and so the mother gives it milk. Even for sleeping, the mother has to put it to sleep. She has to sing songs and she has to rock the baby in order to put the baby to sleep. Slowly, this baby grows. Can you see how it is growing? Slowly, these babies, they grow. And when they grow, they also become taller. And their weight also increases. Alright. Now, as the baby grows up, it learns to crawl and then it learns to walk and then it learns to run. See, it is crawling now. Then it is walking and then it starts walking very confidently. There are many other changes also which happen in our bodies, children, as we are growing up. So let us see those changes. But before that, see how the baby's height is also increased and how its weight has also increased. Height means unchi and weight means vazan. Okay. Now there are many other things also which happens. The baby learns to recognize its mother. So see here, see how it starts smiling when it sees its mother. See the picture again. See, now you will see how the baby starts looking at the mother and smiling there.
See, when the mummy is looking at it, and then it knows, Arey, this is my mama. So it starts smiling. Okay, the baby starts recognizing its mother. It starts recognizing other people also slowly. But first, the baby recognizes the mother. And then it starts having other food also, along with mashed vegetables, mashed fruit. Slowly, slowly, it starts eating other food also. For example, mummy gives him little rice, mummy gives him little dal along with the milk. Okay, and slowly, slowly, the mummy starts giving the baby better food for it to grow better. And then you will see that the baby starts talking also. And sometimes we cannot understand what the baby is saying, isn't it? It talks in a way where we cannot understand what it is saying, but the baby keeps on talking. It starts speaking. The baby starts speaking also. Now all these changes, children, they happen in boys as well as girls in the same way. For example, a baby boy, see, this is a baby boy, okay, it becomes a little boy, or a little boy becomes a big boy, and a little girl becomes a big girl. So nature does not differentiate between the growth. So if it is a girl, it will not grow. If it is a boy, it will grow. So nature doesn't make any differentiation, or nature doesn't differentiate between girls and boys like this. Alright. So now our baby has grown. It has learned how to talk. Alright. And now it can eat also. It can walk also. And at the age of 6, when you become 5 years old, 6 years old, you start growing to school. Nowadays in cities, when the child is 3 years old only, the parents send the children to school. The children are sent to play school, then nursery, then KG, and then finally to class 1. So when you are 6 years old, you start going to school. And then the height of the children, they go on increasing, okay, till the age of 18. So till you are around 18, 19 years old, your height goes on increasing. But after that, you will see that our height stops increasing. After you're 18 years old, then you do not grow tall anymore. Now children, your height stops increasing after a particular age. But your weight, it can go on increasing, okay? There is no age where your weight will stop increasing. But remember, your height increasing is a good thing, but your weight increasing is not a very good thing. It is very, very dangerous for our health. So you can be tall, but if you're fat, and if you're very fat, what will happen? You will become a sick person. Okay, you will get different types of diseases. So see, first it was a baby, and then the baby became bigger, then the baby started going to school, and then height increased, and by the age of 40, you will see that your growth has gone to the maximum. So after the age of 40, till the age of 40, you will see that the person is fit, the person is healthy, okay? But once you cross 40, after the age of 40, you will see that people start getting old. That is, people become middle-aged and then they become old. So after the age of 40, our body starts becoming weaker and weaker and weaker. So can you see how the chart is? We were very weak, and then we became stronger and stronger and stronger, and then till the age of 40 we went on becoming strong, and after the age of 40 we started becoming weaker and weaker and weaker. Okay, but if you have good eating habits, that is, if you eat good food. Now good food doesn't mean pizza and burger, okay? You can have pizza, you can have burger once upon a time, once in a while, not always, not once upon a time, okay? Once in a while, but not always. Every day if you want to eat sandwich and you want to eat chips and you want to eat pizza and if you want to eat burger, then you will become like the photo which I showed you now. You will become very fat and you will become sick. Alright, so you should have good eating habits. Good eating habits means you should eat healthy food, you should eat homemade food, and then you should be hygienic also. Hygienic means what? You should wash the fruits and vegetables before eating them. You should always eat fresh food. You should wash your hands, you should keep your vessels, your house clean. You should cook the food properly. So if you have these good habits in you, if you are hygienic, if you have good eating habits, then you will be healthy for a longer period of time. Along with that, you should try to avoid all this I told you. See, what is he eating? He's eating chocolates and he's got ice creams also, and he's got cola, he's got chips, he's got burgers. All this you should avoid, and you should eat the proper food at the proper time also. That is also very, very important, children, for your body to be healthy. You should get up in the morning, have your breakfast at around 8, 8:30, 9 o'clock. You should have your lunch at around 1 o'clock, dinner at around 7:30 or 8 o'clock. You should never eat food after it becomes dark. Some people, they have their food at 12 o'clock in the night. Okay, so your food will not get digested only, and then your body will start getting problems. So always eat the right food and eat at the right times and eat in proper quantities also, and make a choice between good food and bad food. The bad things are always very tasty and very attractive, isn't it? But always make a choice that you will eat only unhealthy, you will eat only healthy food, and you will stay away from unhealthy food. So if you make these choices, surely all of us are going to be healthy even after we are 40 years old. Okay, now your teachers, your parents, we are already all 40 years old, most of us, but you are all still very young, and if you learn these good habits from a very young age, then it will go a long way in keeping you healthy. There is no point in deciding to become healthy after you are 40 years old. You should start becoming healthy right from a very young age. Now, one more important thing that they have told us is we should exercise regularly. See this boy? He's running, he's boxing, he's skipping, he's picking weights. So you should also be active. Do not sit in front of the TV the whole day, or do not play computer games the whole day. Now, because of the pandemic, you have to sit in front of the computer, you have to sit with your mobile in order to study, in order to learn, isn't it? But otherwise, do not sit in front of a TV, do not sit in front of the computer and sit all the time. You have to get up, you have to walk, you have to run, you have to do some exercises so that your body is healthy. You can walk, you can run, you can also do cycling, and of course we are missing this, but you can play with your friends. We are missing this for the time being now. Okay, very soon when this situation is over, you will all be able to go out and run and play with your friends. Okay, so that is how our bodies will be healthy. But then it doesn't mean that only one day you should exercise. You should exercise regularly, at least 5 days in a week. Now I told you after the age of 40, then our bodies start changing. See this old grandpa? He is trying to read something from the paper, but he is having a lot of difficulty in reading. Why? Because his eyes have become weak. So as we grow older, certain body parts also start getting old along with us. So our eyes become weaker, we cannot see properly, alright? And then you will see that we cannot walk also, our hands and legs and everything start getting weaker as we grow older. Now you must have seen young people, see, she's got a head full of black color hair. As she will become old, her hair will start turning grey. And see, there are wrinkles also on her face now. Of course, nowadays people apply hair dye, so you do not know whether the hair is white or black or grey or what. But then naturally, if you see, as you start growing older, as you cross the age of 40, your hair starts growing white, it starts becoming grey, and your skin also starts becoming wrinkled. Okay, and the strength of our body also decreases, and we start losing our teeth also. Can you see this person? He's lost so many of his teeth. Now how will he eat? Now if he wants to eat something hard, then he will have to make use of these dentures. So there are many people, even after they lose their teeth, they make use of the dentures. But remember, if you lose your eyesight, if you lose your strength, then it is very difficult to gain it back. That is why you should always try to be healthy from the beginning. And then you will see that we have to start depending on medicines. If you're having your grandpa, your grandma at home with you, you must have seen that they take a lot of medicines, because as we become older, our body becomes weaker, and therefore we start getting sick more often. We get different types of diseases. Okay, we become weak, our body system becomes weak. And then you will see some people, they cannot hear, just like some people cannot see, some people cannot hear. Okay, you have to tell them 10 times before they hear something. And sometimes we get angry also. But remember children, this is going to happen to all of us. All of us are going to become old, and we are going to become weak, and we are going to become dependent on others. So we should always try to help the people who are old in our house. So if your nana, your nani, your dada or your dadi tell you to do something 10 times, don't get angry with them. Okay, it is because they have become weak. They were also young, and they were also children like you once upon a time, but now their bodies have become weak. Okay, and some of them, they also forget various things. They tell you something and then they forget. You must have seen your dada, your nani, they tell you one thing many times. Why? Because they have forgotten that they have already told you that. So be patient with them. Don't get angry with them. Okay? So after all this happens, finally what happens is you become so sick that death occurs. Your body becomes so weak that it is no longer able to live. It is no longer able to carry out all the functions. And therefore, one fine day, all human beings, they die. Some die early, some die late, but death is a reality for all human beings. Not only human beings, children, even animals you will see, they also die. Okay, so in this first part of the lesson, we have talked about growth and growing up in the human beings. Now in the next part of the lesson, we will talk about growth in animals and growth in plants. Okay, growth in animals is also like growth in human beings, but we will see a little bit about that, and we will also see how plants grow. So hope you enjoyed the lesson. So I told you in the beginning of the lesson that this is like a story of our own lives. Okay, this is how we are born, and then slowly how we grow up. Alright, how we become stronger, and then how we gradually start becoming weaker, and finally one day our body stops living. So this was the lesson from your textbook, lesson number 23, growing up and growing old. So hope you enjoyed this first part of the lesson. Now when I come back again, we will learn about growth in plants, how plants grow and how plants die. That is also going to be very interesting. Okay, so wait till then. Thank you so much for now.
So children, now you have watched the video. So after you watch the video now, you will have to complete a few simple tasks. Now you might have watched the video on your computers or your laptops or your mobile phones. Now after you watch the video, what will you do? You will please go to the description box which is given below the video. So what is the description box? See, the description box looks like this. Alright, And after you go to the description box, you will see that there are a few questions there. Now, what are these questions about? These questions are about the lesson that we just learned or the video that you just watched. So what will you do? You will think back properly about the lesson and you will try and answer these questions. And note down the answers in your notebook if you want. Okay? After that, we have another task waiting. You will also click on the link which you will find in the description box to fill up the Google form. So now what is the Google form, children? It is nothing but a simple form. There are a few simple questions there about the video which you just saw and also about yourself. So these are the tasks now that you will have to complete after you watch each video. So children, wasn't that a very interesting lesson? I'm sure you learned a lot of new things in this lesson. If you have liked this video, please hit the like button and also subscribe to my video so that you will get to see all the videos which I keep posting regularly.